token that could then ultimately end up being destroyed by another BLITZCLIQUE card effect and start to build off from there. And then your Crackle is also going to provide you with a lot of advantage off of that point.
Yeah, absolutely. That token being summoned to your opponent's side of the field is really quite an interesting interaction this deck has, because obviously not only is that good for being able to destroy a card of the field and get your activations going, it stops your opponent, if they're not careful, from activating things like Mulch Armies, which not necessarily as important against this deck unless you have specifically Parulia, but at the very least as well it turns off something like Infinite Impermanence as well. Yeah,
very good here, and it looks like that Lorenzo did reveal Surge BLITZCLIQUE, so Surge BLITZCLIQUE is the one that you want to utilize here because it lets you destroy another monster on the field to then summon itself down, and when you give your opponent that token, that's exactly what material you're going to want to be utilizing here. So Lorenzo just kind of figuring out, because we got to remember with the BLITZCLIQUE as well, is that they don't have to summon themselves. They can summon any Thunder monster from the hand, and then some of the cards that a lot of duelists try to look towards as well, it can also be the Thunder King Ryo, so turning back the clock a little bit on that one. But it looks like we're also going to be revealing Grain here. And this one's going to allow you to destroy the Hidden City and then summon itself down. Again, it can summon any Thunder monster, but it looks like we've decided to go with the Grain.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the Surge on the field here as well. Got 3 of the moss on the field here. They do at some point lock you out of summoning from both the deck and extra deck as well, do they not?
Correct, yeah, so we're on the full lock now already, because you've already utilized their effects, and from that point on, once you summon them down, they cannot summon from any other position apart from the hand or location. And then we're trying to utilize the Hidden City's graveyard effect to add itself back to the hand as well.
We do see the Infinite Impermanence coming down here because the token was removed, potentially stymieing some of Lorenzo's plays here, but it seems to still be, seems unfazed by the interruption here, banishing the BLITZCLIQUE trap from the graveyard here to gain the effect of said trap, searching the deck for the
It's a very good card for the strategy because it has multiple effects. You can only activate one of them, but it gives you the ability to either place a BLITZCLIQUE continuous trap card from the deck face up on the field, which is what we're going to be seeing Lorenzo do here. And this is the same one that has just been banished, which is the one you usually play multiple copies of. And this is the BLITZCLIQUE Alternator. So the benefit of this one is it also makes your opponent's monsters a little bit weaker, as they will lose 300 attack and defense for each Thunder monster that you currently control, which Lorenzo at this exact moment in time will control 3 Thunder monsters.
We'll be interested to see how Jakob plays through this, if only because, again, it's quite a new deck still. It's still one of the brand new decks from Chaos Origin, so very interesting to see how Jakob decides to go about this. I'm sure, again, given the stage we're at now, he's going to be confident enough playing into this sort of strategy, especially with the deck that he's playing himself. Interesting, again, that he's not really interacted all that much himself. It's just the Infinite Impermanence as well, so given that he's on the Cooltoon strategy, it might indicate maybe just kind of a heavy engine hand at this point.
Yeah, which is not too bad, and I think Lorenzo is well experienced enough to kind of pre-read that as well. The less interactions that are coming down, the more cautious you need to be a little bit, because you can start to assume that there will be cards like Cooltoon Rotary that might give the additional normal summons. There could even be JJ Cooltoons, there could be Cooltoon Synchro as well. So there are all these cards that will allow Jakob to push a little bit further forward through this field. And it's always quite interesting when you're considering you don't get access to some of the powerful cards from the extra deck as well with this one. The strategy that the BLITZCLIQUE will want to try and do can be a little bit more control orientated, and I think that's what Lorenzo is going to be going for here.
Jakob drawing for turn here as well, going to start out his plays himself, as they say. It's not as if Cooltoon struggles going second all the time. It prefers to go first, obviously, as most decks do, but it can play through an awful lot of disruptions. It has 3 normal summons as standard in its combos, as long as you draw the right cards for that at the very least, and has so many ways to, even if you negate without destroying it, that's still going to be playable from the field at that point.
Yeah, exactly here, and we're just reading the BLITZCLIQUE Whisker. Whisker is obviously one of the more stronger, or kind of considered as the overall end piece you want to be aiming for. So this one is going to give you the ability that it can negate certain effects as well. So when your opponent activates a monster effect specifically, except in the hand, which is quite important because it means it won't be able to interact with the Cooltoon Rotary on this one, you get to return any other Thunder monster you control to the hand to negate the activation and destroy that monster. So that could be quite important for cards like access of your Cooltoon Rico, Cooltoon Mix as well when they want to try engine pieces. But it does look like we're going to be utilizing probably one of the most used cards I would expect of this entire weekend, being the Fallen and the Virtuous. Such an incredibly good card that you were able to pick Virtuous all foil edition as well. Just being able to send that Albion trades off with that BLITZCLIQUE, Whisker BLITZCLIQUE as well very nicely.
Absolutely. Removing that threat from the field quite early on, which it is a real threat. It's a very powerful card and able to set up that follow-up for going forward as well. And also in the rotary here,
mix. Yeah, no, but I get you. It's going to be searching. You would assume it searches out the rotary if it doesn't to the rotary.
Yeah.
And this is where KEWL BLITZCLIQUE is going to come into. Will trade off with the mix. Unfortunately, it doesn't negate the effect, but it will allow Lorenzo to destroy the mix, which can sometimes be quite useful because you don't want them to have access to that. They can then use the inherited effects to synchro summon using the hand, and that could be kind of a bit of a sticky situation. It also then shows, depending on what Jakob is going to search here, whether in the hand or if you want to try and get access to rotary. Usually, you want to try and pair up the ability of the additional normal summon from rotary with something like a cool tune Q and steamroll a little bit more of your advantage.
Speaking of, we are adding a cool well moving forward with this turn as well, which again, some kind of extra normal summon available in the hand here for Jakob. It's still maybe not the best situation to be in for him, but it issues with this deck, and he only needs to stick one monster to the field to start playing and make it work.
Yeah, I feel this is also quite an interesting matchup when you think about it, because it's so new. The information that you could have a little bit more limited in comparison to cool tunes. Like, cool tunes have been around a much longer time, so duelists have been playing against them, probably playing the deck themselves as well. So how the deck wants to try and play and how it wants to kind of navigate a field or build its field and everything else along those ways are a little bit. So some of the choke points or the interaction points could be a very powerful, more commonly known.
Having said that, pretty darn powerful card here in the Synchro Overtake. The Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, but then we see immediate follow-up with the Duelist Genesis. Again, this is just a lot of pushes that we see in Jakob's opening hand here as well. Just a whole, no, I'm going to keep playing. You can't stop me. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. That Synchro, using the Cool Tune Synchro straight away, that is given the thumbs up by Lorenzo right here. So we're going to be searching out the rotary. Now we have the pairing of rotary and Q, which is kind of what you want to try and do, but then Lorenzo does still have one set unknown. This is going to be quite interactive. We've already used our main normal summon on mix. We're using our additional normal summon from rotary from Q, and that is going to resolve.
Absolutely it is. Summoning from deck, again, it's tricky. So even if you can destroy the Q, whatever you can summon with the Q, there's still a chance that's still going to hang around, obviously.
Yep.
So it is that kind of tricky situation here with Cool Tune where you're trying to keep them off of a monster on the field.
Double Whisker with both the Rico and the Q, and it looks like Jakob has seen enough. We're going to be going into game two. Very well played there from Lorenzo, getting the access to double Whisker, clearing off both those monsters, not just one non-target. So no matter what Jakob was able to search off of the back of the Rico there, it wouldn't have been able to kind of present any, because once you don't have those monsters on the field, which is a very, very good approach, making sure that they don't stick to the field, it means that they're not going to get access to any of their synchro well navigated there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it is the unfortunate issue with Cool Tune is that they need to stick a monster on the field to play. And stick a monster on the field, they're in a fantastic position. It doesn't matter what monster. It is a Cool Tune named monster. They're in a great position. If you just keep them off of being able to access those synchro monsters, that's a difficult way to be able to play through that.
Yeah, and Jakob tried very of ways to get access to the Cool Tune kind of engine and focus. We saw Duelist Genesis, we also got to see Synchro Overtake, and then ultimately Lorenzo was able to kind of navigate, know exactly what parts to interact with, what parts to stop, and kind of control it. Exactly as we kind of mentioned, that the BLITZCLIQUE want to be controlled. They can be aggressive in their own right. That's where Whisker comes into play, to be very, very aggressive on the field. But going first, controlling how much Jakob can put to the field was very, very well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, it's especially again against that sort of deck where they need to stick that thing to the field. If you can able to keep them off it, you're able to control, as you say, keep saying, control the state of the game at that point. And it is so easy with Cool Tune to let that sort of spiral out of control as well. If there wasn't something to be able to interact with that Q and the summon of the Rico.
Yeah, Q into Rico.
Thank you. If there wasn't something to be able to deal with that, that easily could have been a huge problem for for Lorenzo there as well. But luckily had all the interactions they needed just to be able to say, I'm not going to let you play during this turn, despite the fact that Jakob had a very good hand full of pushes to be able to keep playing as well.
Yeah, so just taking a look at the side decks right now as well, being interesting to see that Lorenzo is actually playing an additional BLITZCLIQUE card on this one, but we also see kind of the standard interactions you might expect. So Multrami Perulia could possibly be coming into play on this one, because you have the main normal summon for Cool Tunes, you've got the extra normal summon off of the Rotary, and then you possibly have another normal summon off of the JJ Cool Tune, so that could give you a couple more draw advantages. We do see Dominus Purge, we see Ghost Ogre, and we see Droll Lockbird, how effective they may be in this particular kind of push and scenario when you're going to be going second. But then flipping it over to Jakob.
We see Jakob here as well with the, again, fairly standard Cool Tune setup here. We do see the Vanadium Refraining here, very powerful counter trap as well. And the Triple Tactic Talents and the Call By for going first. I think we are ready to start with the round 2. That's going to throw it back to the table.
Yep, so duelists are ready up. Lorenzo 1-0 to the good right now, and it looks like it'll probably be Jakob going first here. So starting off with a hand of a lot of green. So this could be very, very interesting to see what spells we get. And we get that Synchro Overtake. What a great premium card to start off with. It is currently limited here, but that will still be very, very effective, being able to reveal one of our monsters in the extra deck being our remix, which will get us direct access to our mix. And it's a very good way to start, because you can work your way into that Rotary early doors without needing to conduct any of your normal summons. And then the best thing about that as well is if Perulia was to be utilized by Lorenzo, it's a card that doesn't give your opponent a draw at all either.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the strengths of the Cool Tune strategy is that it can play so well into whichever Mulcharmy you are dealing with on that particular moment. If you are dealing a lot with a Fualas, you can give up 1 or 2 draws at most. If with a Perulia, you might not even have to give up any of them. It depends how your hand is structured, obviously, but it's not a great many draws you give up either way to be able to get a very impressive field out and ready.
Yeah, and so we're seeing the power of Cool Tune straight away with the Cool Tune Q getting direct access to the Cool Tune Rico, and then Rico in turn getting access to the Cool Tune Rotary, synchro summoning directly with the Q, and this is where we start to get a lot of information, because we're going to be able to see Lorenzo's hand. We're also then going to see the top 2 cards of Lorenzo's deck and decide to kind of place them in an order that we wish to, and also we're able to kind of build a chain block protection for our Cool Tune Trackmaker to make sure that it resolves where possible unless there is a targeted effect in the hand, something like an infinite impermanence or an effect failure.
Yeah, this really is a fantastic start for Jakob here. This is kind of everything you could possibly want from this particular setup. We do see the add of the Cool Tune Secret to Hand revealing Fall of the Virtuous, Fall of the White Dragon, kind of revealing that second part of the strategy here for Lorenzo, and also the BLITZCLIQUE Breakaway and the Whisker and the Trap card as well.
Yeah, so actually a very, very interesting hand there, because with the Alternator as well, it's not a card you really want to see in the hand, but if you're able to back that up with something like a Grain BLITZCLIQUE, you can actually destroy it, get it to the graveyard, and utilize its graveyard effect. And off the top of the deck, we see another Whisker and a Ecclesia. So it looks like the Ecclesia is going to be banished, and the Whisker is going to be put to the top of the deck. Lorenzo's still in this as well. I think the hand is still pretty good. I think Fallen of the Virtuous can help. You've got the Albaz as well, which could be very, very useful. And you would assume Jakob is probably going to lean into the Zarlan, the Chainbound Dragon, as one of the end pieces here with a Cool Tune Synchro, so that you're well within your control to utilize the Zarlan's negate effect as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Like you say, it's knowing that the opponent doesn't have any interactions here means that he's able to just like play at this point and feel free to do so. But again, like you say, this is by no means a bad hand from Lorenzo, and given a lot of those cards are fairly new and unknown entities, might be a difficult way to sort of have to play through that as well. But we do see here the some of the remix and then set 3. This might be a pass after that, but yeah, seems to be. But we see in the draw of the Whisker BLITZCLIQUE there as well, adding to the hand. I think the only card in the hand which isn't necessarily wanted is the Trap, but even that is, the rest of the hand is solid.
Yeah, so we're going to be able to utilize the BLITZCLIQUE Breakaway. So this is still going to be very, very useful for Lorenzo here. This can kind of start to give access to cards. Even though Jakob will know exactly what cards are coming at him at this particular point, there's still ways to get you access to more cards like the Alternator. Alternator will then in turn try and work its way into another BLITZCLIQUE monster. I feel at this point here is probably where Jakob may want to try and interact at a certain point, because This can then open up the door to access to cards like Surge. You can also access to cards like triggering the Whisker from the hand, as well. And we already saw how powerful Whisker is during duel number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the alternator being activated here as well with the breakaway effect, putting it straight in the field immediately. That breakaway is a very powerful card, has those dual effects of being able to, I think, just break your opponent's field down, activate a Blitzclique trap from the deck. Does a lot of very powerful things, this card does.
Yeah, it's very, very useful. On top of that, is as long as a card is destroyed by your Blitzclique card effect while it's in the graveyard, you get to add it back to the hand. Now, you can only use each effect once per turn, but the fact that it can recycle is very, very valuable.
And the artwork is sick. The artwork is real nice. I like all the Blitzclique artwork, actually. It's real nice. The Blitzclique artwork is sick. Just considering their plays here at the moment as well, because again, it's at this stage in the game, it's kind of early in the match at the moment still. It's not the halfway point yet, so it's already game 2. You have time to consider your plays and think things through, and then to rush things at this moment. Yeah,
exactly that. It's the fine line between analysing your point, analysing the next move out, kind of eating too much time away, and you want to make sure when you have loads of different options, you want to make sure you make the right one, because a misstep in the wrong direction will derail you a little bit. But we're going to be seeing the falling of the white. This is going to be sending an Albion from the extra deck, and it looks like we're going to be chaining the remix here, possibly working ourselves in, maybe work our way into a Zarlan, and the Zarlan will then ultimately be using a card like Trackmaker plus another one, maybe, and opt in a Q. So we're going to be going into Zarlan. We'll get access to target a card, return it to the hand, and then we're also going to get access to look at the top 2 cards of Lorenzo's deck as well.
Absolutely. Well, a non-target return a card to the hand is worth noting. So it's that it dodges a lot of stuff and is able to, even if you remove the thing from the field that you don't want to return to the hand, else at that point as well. But yeah, like you said, we're going to see maybe not at the end of the top of the deck at this point, but the banish could be quite impactful, which I don't know what they're going to remove.
Yeah, so this is very interesting because we've got Chainlink 1, Fallen of the White, and then we're going to be going Chainlink 2, Rico, and then I believe Lorenzo is spawned to that. And that's actually really important because the way that the Zal and the Shackle Dragon works is it lets you negate the first effect, or you get that is built up on the chain. So at the moment, Chainlink 1 is Fallen of the White, Chainlink 2 is Rico. Chainlink 3 was to be Zarlan, it would have the ability to negate the Fallen of the White. But if Chainlink another card, for example, that means that the Fallen of the White would technically be protected from the Zarlan, and it couldn't be negated. And that might be something that Lorenzo might want to consider to try and get access to a Synchro level 8 before we start going down the Blitzclique routes as well.
I like Zarlan a lot. I think it's a very cool card. I like the way it plays with an interesting way, which you don't see a lot of cards being able to do that. And then it will just say, actually the chain links don't matter here, I'm going to jump one and interact with that there as well. Fallen of the Virtuous being activated yet again here. Such a powerful card as well, but able to remove that trap from the field, so it's no longer an issue, but that does mean the Fallen of the White Dragon is going to resolve here as well.
Yeah, so we're going to get access to Ecclesia the Virtuous, and we're going to try and build our way. We still from Jakob, like if he really wants to get rid of the Albus route.
Is he signifying that he's doing the content fusion with Zarlan here?
Ooh, that is interesting.
I think it might be. Is that Albuletus? It is! Oh, we have Albuletus being summoned to the field, removing the Zarlan as a factor here. A real shame for Jakob, but hey, if you have the space for Albuletus, which I imagine you definitely do in a deck that doesn't maybe need the extra deck as much because it's Blitzclique, powerful way to remove these big threats from the field as well.
Yeah, I think it's a very good kind of meta call on that one as well. When there's a lot of decks that are utilizing all branded kind of package. So you look at Josh Kelly's deck yesterday, which he obviously was able to book his place at Worlds with, utilizing the Light and Darkness cards, a branded package, could be very, very useful. And when you're already playing a card that turns itself into, or is always treated as Fallen of Albaz, again, it just gives you a little bit more consistency to do so. Expertly done to try and take away that Zarlan negation. And we're going to be seeing the Jakob or activate the Cool Tune Synchro on Resolution, possibly trying to work into an interaction, utilizing the Rico, and then trying to work its way possibly into whatever card we decide to search. So we can go into a Synchro 6 or a Synchro 5, which could be Cool Tune RS as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of options here we can go into. I'd imagine the RS might be the way to go here, just because it is such a powerful way to protect your plays with your opponent and have just that huge attack master on the field, which at the moment I imagine will be quite high. There are lots of tuners in your own graveyard, and there's, I think, yeah, but if the Incredible Ecclesia goes there, then that will be in the graveyard as well.
Yeah. And it also gives you that negation as well, so it sets you up another line of interaction. I mean, Lorenzo is not going to be fighting this one through. We know that there is the Whisker and necking the strength of the RS as well, and also trying to find out on that one. Utilizing both Rico and Mix was allowed to destroy the Albinatus. We still have the graveyard effect, I believe, of the Blitzclique track card. We're going to be utilizing the Incredible Ecclesia. I wonder, are we going to be seeing the original Fallen of Albaz?
That would be kind of spicy and all thing, but we don't see. We just see another Fallen of the White Dragon here as well, which, hey, I say it's a fantastic card.
Yeah, it's still very, very good here. We can see that Lorenzo is still to be trying to access the extra deck a little bit more. As you mentioned in game number 1, well, the one thing that BLITZCLIQUE will do is it will limit you to directly only summoning from the hand. So you want to make sure that you utilize the extra deck out of the way first, and possibly build on from there. I wonder, trying to have a consideration of what else Lorenzo extra deck here that could be of useful for him.
Will be interesting. It's not a blending it with a branding strategy means that it's using more extra deck stuff, of course, but it's generally not a very heavy extra deck strategy as well with the BLITZCLIQUE stuff. But we see the Fallen Virtuous of Lorenzo's own here coming down, contesting that RS. It either has to negate it or will be destroyed either way here. I'd imagine you go for the negate here just for the sake of keeping that master knot.
Yeah, so we're going to send the Incredible Ecclesia. We've already got the Albin. Now means that one way or another that RS is not going to stick on the field.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, okay, so we allow it to get destroyed. Interesting.
I think at that point, it like you say, it's maybe the rounds on the wall for that card, and we do see that being, oh, right, no, of course it can do spell traps as well. Oh, interesting.
So Lorenzo's basically turned Fallen Virtuous into two ways, and we're going to get the Cool Tune Synchro.
Twice per turn card, what a powerful strategy, and we see that resolving, I think. I'd imagine got a Q here, okay? Might already have the clip in hand, I believe.
I mean, that's also quite... I'm trying to think if there's... Maybe, well, I suppose if you had... Because even with Q, all you could really make is Crackle, correct? So it shows that Jakob feels that we're going to be going back to his turn, because Cool Tune Q is a great card to start with regardless.
Yeah.
Not being able to perform a Synchro Summon here, we're going to be getting the Hideout. So this is where we're going to start to utilize the BLITZCLIQUE cards, and he's held back very, very well. I thought for a very second we were going to see a normal summon of a level 4 monster to overlay, but I'm pretty sure we are locked into level 8 Synchros currently as well. So we're going to be able to give access to the token off of the back of the Hideout. Hideout, we're going to be working our way possibly into what I would imagine would be a Surge BLITZCLIQUE. You're going to see Surge probably enter the field of play. Plus we've got the Whisker. We've got to remember that the Whisker is insanely powerful, because once you resolve the Surge, we should be able to push through and get more monsters to enter the field. And it does look like there is a possible clip in the hand of Jakob here.
Yeah, like you say, it's I don't know if we know all of Jakob's hand here, but he might. We added the Q. That might just be a follow-up. There might be, say, another Rico in hand. We might get another RS in the field here at some point. There are other options here for what is in Jakob's hand. Or might just really want some of that Crackle.
Yeah.
You never know.
Do you want to put a line of defense in there? I suppose once you've used, once your opponent has used Surge, the only other card you need to worry about that could interact with your field will be the Whisker. So
there we go.
We're revealing the Whisker now. So once the Whisker enters the field of play, it still has the negation, but doesn't have the destruction. So that could kind of help let Jakob navigate a little bit more. And the best thing with Q is that it doesn't directly activate. It activates in the hand. So summons itself down and then performs a Synchro Summon, so Whisker wouldn't really be able to interact with it.
Absolutely. And even if we do summon the Crackle, for example, here, to the field, so it does have that extra layer of protection that other things maybe don't have. So you maybe don't mind if it does get destroyed straight away, because it's going to come back and keep your life points safe for a little while at the very least.
Yeah, exactly that. And like you said, very well navigated forward thinking by getting access to the Call Tune Q, should you do have the follow-up, should you survive this turn as well. Lorenzo definitely navigating this one correctly and very, very cautiously as well, making sure that there could be any hidden interactions from Jakob and just showing exactly what the Blitzkrieg strategy can do. So we're going to be setting 2 here. Are we going to be going... move into the end phase? Yeah, it looks like we're moving to the end phase. So we're going to try and utilize the Albion. It's going to be interesting. We're going to use Whisker to negate it. Very interesting. And then we're going to attempt to use our own Albion. Okay, so we held back the Whisker for Albion, which stops Jakob getting access to a Fallen Virtuous, which we already know how good this one is. And Lorenzo has really turned the tables quite fast on this one. Was able to interact with Jakob's entire field, and now in return we have the Hideout plus the Whisker plus 3 set spells and traps as well.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a I'm going to win this turn kind of deck, perhaps. It's more of a I'm going to dismantle the field you managed to set up and set my own field up, and we're going to get into that grind game, which again, I mentioned yesterday, Branded is so good into a grind game. I can only imagine Blitzkrieg does well in the same situation here as well.
Yeah, another thing to remember as well, not that we probably won't get there, but Whisker currently has an extra 500 attack, and it's not exactly a small monster itself.
Good size hand from Jakob here as well, so plenty of options here, but we do see the Fallen Virtuous coming out, targeting, I imagine, the Zaylan summoned to Lorenzo's own side of the field here with that Fallen Virtuous. That is an incredibly heads-up play here from Lorenzo, making sure that his own plays are protected by the opponent's Zaylan. That's incredible.
Yeah, exactly that. Very well played there by Lorenzo. Jakob trying to see exactly what we can do here. We've got to be very careful about building our own chains now, because that Zarlin can start to interact with the first thing we try to play. Going to start with a Fallen Virtuous to try and trade off. Possibly, I can imagine with that Zarlin, right?
I'd imagine so. Sending the Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon as well, which again, seeing as we have our own Albions in the graveyard, is going to be another form of interruption here as well. Such a powerful card to have in any strategy. Fallen Virtuous is already a strong card. You pair it with Ecclesia, it is a self-recurring interruption, which has like a 2-for-1 effect the second time you use it. So it just gets stronger as the game goes on. It's a very powerful card, able to contest one of the opponent's cards here, sending that Zaylan straight back to where it belongs, to the opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, I feel Lorenzo probably got what he wanted here, is that he used his one effect to trade off with, to make Jakob utilize that Fallen Virtuous. It looks like Jakob's going to start off with that Call Tune Q. We kind of thought that this one would have been coming a while back. Is there going to be any interaction from Lorenzo? At the moment, he doesn't have another Thunder Monster to return directly with Whisker, but we're going to see if there is. There is Crackle. So we're going to see Crackle, BLITZCLIQUE enter the field of play, getting rid of the Q, and again seeing a repeat of what we saw in duel number 1, where Lorenzo is going to try his hardest to stop Jakob getting any Call Tune monster to stick to the field. But we're still going to be able to resolve the Call Tune Q to special summon another tuner directly from the deck that is not a level that is going to be going into the Call Tune Rico. So this is going to be able to get you access to any Call Tune monster that is not a level 3. Possibly going to be seeing a Rotary here, and then depends on what Synchro Summon play we might want to make.
I like the Call Tune effect if it's not adding one of not this name, it's not this level. And I find that an interesting way that the deck plays out, but we do see that being also removed from the field quite quickly as well, with the Whisker revealing the 3 from hand. Very powerful way to play this turn here from Lorenzo. I don't think Jakob is done here. I think Jakob still has more ways to play, but this is going to be tricky for him. All the Triple Tactics talent as well, being slammed down onto the field from the side deck. Coming in very handy here, draw 2 cards. That's what the shuffle was for. I thought the turn might be over, but I think, there we go. It seems not. Drawing the 2 cards and keeping Jakob in the game for even longer. Reveal the Rotary and the second Rico in hand as well.
Very interesting, because there was a couple of cards. I was trying to think what you would ideally want to draw, and I think Jakob did draw the 2 cards that would have been insane. And we're going to see the BLITZCLIQUE breakaway in return. Again, Lorenzo trying his hardest to make sure that that Call Tune monster does not stick to the field. We're going to chain the Call Tune Synchro. That was one of the cards that I felt we could be digging for, because we've already gone through 2, remember? Yeah. This was the last Call Tune Synchro in the deck, and Jakob with the heart of the cards, off of the back of the triple tactic talents, was able to get direct access to it. Now we're just going to see if there's any response from Lorenzo, and we are going to be using Whisker here to get access to Surge and BLITZCLIQUE, Crackle BLITZCLIQUE, and still making sure that that Cool Tune Rico does not stay on the field.
It actually is a very interesting matchup here, BLITZCLIQUE into Cool Tune, because again, it's so good at just keeping you off of those monsters you need to stay onto the field as well. It's so good at just going, no, you can't do that, I won't let you. But adding another Q to the hand here, not entirely sure what could be happening here in Jakob's side of the field. Just in terms of, I think at this point, it's just the JJ Cool Tune that can keep Jakob in the game here. If he has it in hand, wonderful.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Okay, so that talents was it
good?
Triple tactic terrific. Let's put it that way.
I like that. That's good.
There it is. JJ Cool Tune. So yeah, the two cards that were drawn off the talents, believe it or not, was Cool Tune Synchro and JJ Cool Tune.
That's kind of insane. That's crazy. That's crazy. He does play 2 in the deck, to be fair, so it's a bit more likely you'd see that sort of thing.
So let's see if there is another interaction from Lorenzo.
Yeah, and it looks like there is.
Yeah, directly we're going to utilize that Whisker. Whisker is going to get rid of that JJ Cool Tune, getting access to, I believe it's Emmy, this one. So Emmy is the little bit opposite to Grain, and that's the fist bump. Very, very well piloted there by Lorenzo. Very well piloted from Jakob as well.
Yeah.
Did try very, very hard to kind of pull that field apart, but also try to set up a field that was a little bit harder for Lorenzo. But you are facing last year's European winner. Starts off with a win on that one as well. Very, very exciting. So,
yeah, very much. Very exciting to see, as you say. It's again, both players did a phenomenal job there. It is just, I think, a difficult matchup for Cool Tune in that situation. It is, you're playing against a deck which almost perfectly counters what you're trying to do on the field. It's just so good at keeping you off of what you're trying to do. Obviously, with the right hand, you can play through a lot more than that, but it just depends. And again, it's you just, sometimes you don't have the right hand for things, and sometimes the opponent just has the answers to every card you have.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a very, very good showcase from both duelists on that one. We got to see exactly what BLITZCLIQUE was able to do, and I think that's one of the considered favourites of a lot of duelists today here. And I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup because it also has a very good Light and Darkness matchup as well, because a lot of the BLITZCLIQUE cards want to target cards, and one of the biggest strengths for the Light and Darkness deck is that they're unaffected targets. So it's actually a very, very good meta choice for this event. And Lorenzo's obviously practiced lots and lots and lots with that one as well against the Cool Tune matchup, because knowing not to let that card stick to the field can be a massive, massive game changer. We're actually going to be going and speaking to Lorenzo very, very shortly. But before we get onto that, remember that we're going to be here for the rest of the day, every single round of Swiss. You're going to follow the journey. You could be following the journey of the site. We move.
Remaining European for his and the emotional to play. Really a lot of give it a just big broke the tune. I think because I was about to say it's a bit similar to everything. It's you, and I think a couple of here. Okay. Jakob. Like permanent. Did that
The sort of quick play with
the bum? It feels feelings, and then you try and easy.
probably then if you play at the so
And I think that Whisker to use the guy back really
one thing that I
Jakob realized, yeah.